there were 1.6 billion Muslims in the world as of 2010, roughly 23% of the global population, according to a Pew Research Center estimate. But while Islam is currently the world's second largest religion after Christianity, it is the fastest growing one. The growth of Islam should be one of the most disturbing things for everybody in this room. Here is a religion that forces women into submission, that executes homosexuals, that tries to kill non-believers. They're the Westboro Baptist Church on steroids, except they're not mental trolls from Kansas. They really mean it. They're actually here, they mean business, and they're spreading. Islam preys on the most vulnerable people in society. It offers them a sense of higher purpose. It's no wonder that gingers convert to Islam in such high rates. Did you know about this? No, it's true. No, it's true. No, it's true. Do you have gingers? Who's ginger here? Come up here. Come up here. Come and stand here. Come and stand here. Any more gingers? No, wait, just let me, no, you come up here. You're not ginger, so you come up here. Right. This fine young gentleman, partly by dint of his hat, highly unlikely to convert to radical Islam. Is unlikely to wake up one day wanting to convert to radical Islam. You, on the other hand, are 5 times more likely than him, solely by dint of your hair color, to wake up one day and decide to be a radical jihadi. Do you know why?
Because I left my bomb vest at home?
You didn't leave bomb vest at home. No, the reason is, you can go sit down, thank you. Sorry to pick on you. This is not really strictly pertinent to the speech, but I'm going to tell you about it because it's interesting. So I am a connoisseur of ginger prejudice. I read... Not just a connoisseur, but an enthusiastic practitioner. I read everything I can about it. I'm trying to find out, why do people hate gingers so much? Why don't they want to have sex with gingers? I'm sorry. And can ginger people do anything about their circumstances? Because I want, I like to help the disabled. So, I'm sorry. So there's good news and bad news. The bad news is you are less attractive on average. Most people aren't into it. But the good news is that people who are into gingers are remarkably insensitive to anything else about that person. So it operates a lot like a sexual fetish. If you're really into feet, you don't tend to care too much what's attached to those feet. You're just into the feet. And ginger hair works in a very similar way. Which is why when you do these experiments in nightclubs, the same person wears a sort of ginger wig and not a ginger wig, and they test how many people are rebuffed on approach and how many people are sort of anyway. So that's the good news. If you want to know why, well, you're lucky that you're American, because it's going to give you a bit of a head start. We are genetically hardwired to seek out a high degree of genetic mixing in our partners, in our mates, which is, I think, why almost everybody finds that ribbon of sort of South America, Spain, Italy, up to Israel, bits of North Africa. Pretty much everyone finds them hot. So pretty much everybody wants to have sex with people from that bit of the world, because there's that nice cafe au lait complexion, Greece, of course. That nice cafe au lait complexion. Pretty much everybody, and of course Latin America too, pretty much everybody finds them attractive because they have a high degree of genetic mixing. Well, gingerism, ginger hair, is a recessive gene, so it doesn't pop up unless there isn't much else going on in your family tree. So ginger hair is a sign that your folk have stayed in one place for a really long time and bred with each other. Which, on the one hand, makes you sort of, quite a pure blood specimen, but on the other, makes you relatively unattractive from an evolutionary point of view. And the other problem, the reason we're sort of hardwired to avoid it, is that ginger hair is the same genes that do it create freckles, or at least they often exist together. And freckles, of course, are cancer factories, and we are hardwired to avoid people with lots of freckles. Anyway. It's all very interesting. But when I say that Islam goes for the vulnerable in society, and the reason I said that you're lucky to be American is that Britain, where I'm from, in England in particular, is subject to the uniquely virulent ginger prejudice. There is nothing like it, and it's partly all the things I just talked about, but it's also historical and cultural. So we've had, historical conflicts with the Scots, with the Irish. After the potato famine, the Irish all came over and everyone hated them. And these countries all had high numbers of redheads. For all these reasons, there is a colossal statistical difference, way beyond anything that could be an accident, a colossal statistical difference in the number of red-headed Brits, in the Brits that are likely to become, that convert to radical Islam, that become terrorists, are identified by news reports of the intelligence agencies as redheads. They are vastly more likely to have red hair because the radical preachers single them out as outsiders, as people who are likely to be marginalized, as vulnerable. And ginger children are vulnerable in the UK for all the reasons I said. But they sort of find a sort of weird concentration in England for historical and also evolutionary reasons. So people are nastiest to gingers in England, nastier than anywhere else in the world. And for that reason, Islamic hate preachers know to seek out ginger children or ginger teenagers, because they're going to be bullied at school. They're going to want to be part of something. They're going to want to find some purpose and brotherhood in life. So if you look at Anjem Chowdhury, this weird, I think he's in prison now. I think he's finally been put in prison. Or Abu Hamza, the hook-handed cleric in London. They always have these cabals of ginger kids around them. It's very interesting. Anyway, sorry for that diversion, but it's like, do you have that program Mastermind over here? Do you have it here? It's a program in England, Mastermind, were basically really, really, really smart people who knew absolutely everything about a ridiculously specific subject, like, the music of the Beatles from June until August 1962, everything about it, where everything was recorded, who took the photo on the magazine cover, like all that kind of. Anyway, mine would be Ginger Prejudice. Right.